Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stickity Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm updating again my DRAGONMAID list. This is 3 weeks in a row that I've got first place. I actually went undefeated today. Well, I guess it's sort of, because the only somewhat what you could even call match was a loss, was actually just a draw. So I actually went, I guess you can say 6-1-0, because I had 6 wins and then 1 draw. Basically, we had 5 rounds in Swiss, and then top 4 played it out, and I got first place at the end. I beat the same dude that I drew against. It was the same salty trap doll player. I'll go ahead and get into the list. Oh, wait. Actually, I forgot. I normally do this. And today it was for 2 boxes. So, look at that. Pluses. We turned $10. Shout out to Carlos. We turned $10 into 2 boxes. The pluses are real. Watch them pulls be lit. So, here are my matches. I need to go ahead and share that. So, first match, first round, I played Dragon Link. That was 2-1. I just couldn't out his Dragoon game 1, but game 2 and 3 was pretty clean sweep. Not much to talk about there. My round 2, I played against Virtual World. That was a clean 2-0. I had the right hand trap at the right time. And then when I went first, I'm sorry, I didn't even go first. He went first. I Meistered him. His board was pretty mediocre. And then I played through like Chuchi. I think it was like Chuchi Ash Gamma or something like that. And then game 2, same thing. He was going first, but I just waxed him. Like, I just had, again, I pretty much opened one of the better hands that you can open against Virtual World. I opened like the correct hand trap for the correct sequence, and I had enough gas to just literally OTK him. So he ended on just like Chuchi and I think another hand trap. I think both times it was just like Chuchi and hand traps, but like it was super duper easy. And then my third round was against the salty trap doll player. That was actually a draw. I should have just went for the damage, because I had opportunity to attack, like to get damage, but I wanted to wait till I go to battle phase. Like I ended up like missing my opportunity to get damage in, so it ended up being a draw. And then my round 4, thank you Lord Jesus, was against Adamantimators. This was probably it was crazier than Dragon Link. Can you turn that one light back on? Not that one, the other one, and then the other one off. Just the way I had it. So this was the craziest combo deck I played against. So this guy's inning field first game. This is also my friend Joaquin. He ended on VFD plus Appaloosa for 3. Through VFD, Appaloosa for 3, I summoned Xiao and Seal. I dismantled pretty much everything. I left him with nothing but VFD, and he missed out on lethal, and then my follow-ups just killed him. Like I OTK'd him on the next turn, and then game 2, this was a 2-0 by the way, game 2, he summoned Appaloosa through a Gamma. I Gammaed at the right time. All he ended on was Appaloosa. Through the Appaloosa, I ended on VFD plus Seal. So it was pretty ironic that I VFD'd him back and I won that game. So that was 2-0. But again, just super duper impressive. My DRAGONMAID set up Seal and Xiao through VFD, playing under it, and with Appaloosa, you know, able to negate graveyard effects that are different attributes, what he called. So round 5, because there's 5 rounds and then top 4 in Swiss, I played against Invoke Eldritch. That was also 2-0. What can I say, bro? Honestly, Eldritch is the buy. It's the easiest matchup of all the meta decks. Eldritch Zodiac is probably the easiest deck ever for DRAGONMAIDs, excluding the fact that I have rocket cards and consistent inboards and consistent damage. I can just play through so much. I played through... People are main decking Droll. I think it has something to do with me, because people were not main decking Droll before. I was never getting Droll, but people started changing their main deck and Droll, playing a lot more hand trap. I never got hand trap to the point where I just couldn't play. I actually played through Drolls, I played through Lantias, I played through Gamma against the Virtual World player, I played through Gamma, I played through Ash, played through Bell, played through, like, just so much, bro. Like, this deck is just crazy. After I beat the Invoked Eldritch dude, he was even asking me where to stop my deck. I'm not going to tell you my secrets, but I ended on Seal Savage through a Ghost Belt and a Droll. I kind of write what I end on if it's like a clutch moment. So he Drolled me, he Belled me, and then I still ended on Seal and Savage. It was just a clean 2-0. And so basically, I had 1 draw and 4 wins in my first 5 rounds. Top 4, I opened straight gas. I played Virtual Worlds again, and I 2-0'd him again. No. I didn't 2-0 him. It was 2-1. So I opened straight gas. I ended on Xiao, Savage, and I had Meister, and that was through Gamma. So it's pretty crazy, actually. He Gammaed at the right time. He Gammaed my Romulus, which was correct because it denies the Romulus interaction and takes the Link 2 for the arrows to Guard Dragon combo, but I still played through it. And then, oh yeah, game 2, like he made VFD, and then I Nibiru'd him, and then he used the Virtual World Trap to summon out his Lala from grave and emergency teleported, and then Cloud Castle made VFD anyways, and my hand wasn't able to play through it that time. Then game 3 was just clean sweep. It was just so one-sided. And then my final match in the top cut was the Salty Trap Doll player again. That was a 2-1. It was pretty grindy, but I know dolls like the back of my hand. I knew when to interact and where, and it was just clean sweep. I've outed Winda against him multiple times. Played through his like aerial and his punishment and his knighted and all his hand traps, his crows, his gammas. He has a lot of hand traps. So I played through just so much interruptions today. This deck is just crazy. So like I've always said, Dragon Maids are very, very OP. This is probably, like, in my opinion, like the best combo deck. That's how I feel. You could disagree, but my opinion's my opinion. I believe this is like the best combo deck. It's very consistent. It grinds better than even Drytrons and Eldritch. It has incredible inboards with a ton of follow-ups. It can play through up to even 5 interruptions. I've played through Punishment, Ash, Nibiru, and UCT in the Dino matchup all at the same time. So this deck is gas. I don't think very many decks can play through that much. This is also not like Dragon Link, contrary to people would think, in the sense that it doesn't really function. Like, the only thing that this deck has in common with Dragon Link is that you use Absolrouter to get Rocket Tracer and you play Guard Dragons. But the inboards are totally different. I mean, Seal is a generic dragon card, but the way I play and the way I aim my boards, it's like things are different. Like, you could have Savage and Seal, that's what they could have, but they don't have basically like Shao. They don't have Tiding. You know, they don't have the Dragon Maid cards. They don't have those interactions to a large extent. I guess if they want to play Tiding, they can play it. But at the end of the day, Dragon Link loses to Droll, but my deck doesn't. And I think that's the biggest difference between this deck and Dragon Link, is like, there are some similarities, and I think I use Dragon Link's cards, and Dragon Link uses my chambers, so we're kind of both sharing each other's cards, but I think this deck is better than Dragon Link. It has better follow-ups. It grinds. It doesn't need a side back row hate because it has built-in outs. 2 cards like Mystic Mine, and any control deck is like the buy. Any deck that's setting 5 and passing, Dragon Maids are going to grind out all of those back rows and keep just recurring and looping their cards until you're on like a +7 train. It happens. That's why I just stopped siding for back row, because I've never really lost to a back row deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the starters. So we are playing, I have my cards organized, I'm just sliding them over. We're playing 4 black metals, and then we're also playing 4 copies of Parlor. Ooh, get that fly out of here. So that's 8 starters. These are all 1-card combos. 1-card Romulus or 1-card Seal. Romulus can still end on Seal. The difference is it's also with a Ravine up, and you'll have the launch in hand. You can play conservative. You can still end on like Seal, Shao, Tiding beats Virtual World. It also conveniently can beat Drytron because Seal alone is the FTK because it summons Draco and they can't out it because it can't summon their lights. So you'd be surprised. You could play conservative. Sometimes like I'm like, okay, I can't make Seal and then combo to stop Nibiru, so I have to basically like do Seal Tiding, for example, with hand traps. Like, there are certain hands where you don't have to combo all the way and just burn through every resource you have to make the most OP inboard. When you already know what you're up against, you know it beats that deck. But obviously the best board that this deck can make is Borlord Savage, Shao, VFD, Seal, and Tiding. All 5 of those cards, like, just it's too much. So we have all these are 1-card combos that can end on just an OTK by themselves, or you can get multiple interruptions off of that 1 card. The same with the 1 chamber, because they're all 1-card Romuluses, which is a 1-card Seal. So if you want to be conservative, you could just summon Seal. If you want to go gas it up, go into Romulus, you can get Ravine, dump what you want. You can even get your Rocket Tracer off Router, or you could just dump Tempest and end on Seal with Ravine and Tempest Engrave, which gives you more follow-ups. Ravine's a follow-up, Tempest is a follow-up, and Seal. That's better than just hard summon Seal pass before going into Romulus. And also Romulus prompts a hand trap, which is super cool. So these are all 11 1-card combos. This deck's combos are all pretty much 1- and 2-card combos. You can do 3- and 4 combos, but a lot of your more efficient and reliable combos are just 1- and 2-card combos, which means there's a lot of room for hand traps, which is super good. And then I'm also playing 3 copies of Kitchen. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Her food, it just ain't enough salt in it, bro. It's just not enough flavor. She just don't cook no more. So Kitchen definitely don't cook no more. That's why Parlay ain't serving nothing. And then we got my wife right here. We have 2 Nurse. That's my boo. She's the finest Dragon Maid of all, and that's my boo. So as you guys can see, I pretty much play every good Dragon Maid and even the decent ones. Because Kitchen, to me, with the amount of extenders I play, Kitchen is a starter for me. That's why this is in the starter pile. And getting your graveyard loaded is very important in this deck, because on your follow-ups, cards that revive your cards from grave can be a +5, whether it's a Nurse, a Chamber, or a Parlor, because all of those can get a card that reborns. And you can just get up to 5 bodies on field and even 3 to 4 cards in hand off of 1 Nurse or 1 Tidying or 1 Hospitality, 1 World Legacy Guard Dragon, anything that pretty much brings your cards back. So you want to set your grave up. That's why Kitchen is still really important. It's just crazy. And Kitchen plus an extender is the same thing as a Chamber or Parlor by themselves, except the difference is you get 1 extra interruption, because you can go Kitchen for Chamber search like the Hospitality if you need more gas, or the Trap, the Tidying. So then you do the same combo you would do with Parlor or Chamber by themselves, but you have a Tidying in hand as a backup follow-up and interruption, because Tidying is 2 follow-ups and 1 interruption in itself. Then finally, we are playing Double Tracer and 1 Recharger for the Rocket Engine. It's very small. It's basically a 7-card package, but it makes you able to consistently Guard Dragon combo through interruptions, in on additional negations, and it also forces interruptions itself. And I definitely recommend that you try 2 Nurse. You might think that 2 Nurse is not enough, like is not necessary, but believe you me, bro, 2 Nurse is very, very clutch. I mean, you could side it out, but this card is like literally the most important Dragon Maid after your first turn, because it becomes any Dragon Maid you want it to be, but extra bodies, and then you just keep looping this with Earnest and looping it off of Shao, and it's crazy. Like, once Shao hits the field in this deck, it's very downhill for your opponent, because the amount of advantage and pressure you can put on your opponent and the amount of advantage you're going to generate off of that card is just way too good. And the fact that it negates and puts another threat onto the field, being House, which can interact by popping your opponent's monsters, not once per turn, just pop, pop, pop. It's so ridiculous. This deck is really good. And that's the difference between this and Dragon Link, is you have the Dragon Maid entire archetype, and then you just threw some Rocket cards in there, because Dragon Maids have pretty much always played Black Metal because it's a 1-card seal. So it's really the only thing that makes this deck like Dragon Link is the fact that I play the Rockets, because everything else is pretty much just stuff that any Dragon deck can play. So from here, we're going into extenders. Now I'm going to go, these are obviously the best extenders. We have 3 World Legacy, 3 Hospitality. World Legacy, Guard Dragon is the best extender because it lets you Guard Dragon with minimum resources. Guard Dragon combo. And then we also have Hospitality. This card interacts with the hand, the grave, and the deck. It's very disgusting. This card wins you games. Hospitality on the follow-up is just insane. Hospitality for like Nurse and then send her Dragon form. Nurse bring back Chamber, and Chamber gets something. Or even go for Parlor. Parlor dump Tidying. But if you already had a Tidying in a grave, it's just better. Because when you flip Tidying on your opponent's turn, you interrupt them, and then next turn it just gasses you up. So this card just turns into like 5-7 cards. You can actually Guard Dragon combo off of 1 Hospitality if your graveyard has enough Dragon Maids in it. So this card just gets better and better the more you use it. It's just super duper good. And then we have 3 Quick Launch and also 3 Nocto. I didn't draw this card at all today. I miss it. Like, Nocto's my guy. I just, maybe it's because I'm not playing the super rares because they're not out yet, but I normally draw this card a lot. Nocto lets you combo through so much. Every extender lets you combo through even high impact hand traps. You can combo through those. Cards like even Ash and Gamma and stuff like that, your extenders help you to push. This helps you to chain block through Gamma so that when they finally Gamma, you have gotten so much advantage in the first place. This can help you to play through Gamma. Hospitality can help you to play through Gamma. World Legacy. It just depends on how your hand shapes out, but typically these cards just push through hand traps, and every hand trap diminishes in value when you have an additional extender to kind of counteract it. You can end on the same exact end board you were going for, even if your opponent hand trapped you multiple times. And then we have 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This is an extender, and also when you're playing against VFD decks that summon Calamities, this is 2 extra copies of Changeover, so that if you need to, you can summon Shao without activating monster effects. So you could even bump it to 3. And then it's an extender because it can dump Tidying. So this card helps you to play through Ash, helps you to play through Gamma, play through Ghost Bell. It also helps you to play through cards like Knighted and Imperm. And then when you're under VFD, this card can be the extender you need, or it can just literally allow you to summon Shao, which is super good. If they have VFD Chuchi, you can still make Shao and Seal, and they can only pop 1 of them. So that's just, it's beautiful. And then obviously Red MD is another great extender in this deck. I hold him sometimes, and then also he's searchable high level for you to get fuel for your Shao. So I'll summon Shao and then bring this guy back off Pisty, then use him to bring back the Tracer. Then I'll combo, and the last thing that I do normally is resolve Tracer just to get the Savage, which is icing on the cake. We have Tempest OP. Banish this card off of the Trishula Fusion, just giving you a follow-up. This card is very, very, very clutch. Tempest is just... The grind in this deck is amazing. This card just comes back every single turn. Oh my goodness. And then we have Router. There was actually a pretty busted hand I drew, which was 1-for-1. Gold Sark, Router is a handful of 1-ups, and then 2 hand traps. It was just nuts, bro. Like I comboed through Gamma with that hand, and I was basically working with those 3 cards because I had 2 hand traps. And then we have Ravine, and then Quick Launch, Boot Sector Launch. These are also extenders. Ravine can be a starter, and Launch can too, because summoning Seal... What people need to understand is even if LP ever got hit, Seal is just like an LP, but sometimes better because it's an LP that's a lot more difficult to interact with. It always will interrupt your opponent without targeting. It disrupts their plays, and then it summons any dragon from your deck. So anything that makes Seal as a starter, even if you have to wait a turn, because Seal lets you see your entire DRAGONMAID engine. Like this deck's so consistent, you could draw 0 DRAGONMAID cards and still get into your DRAGONMAID engine anyways. The same thing with the opposite corresponding, you know, it's just really good. There have been times where I'm just like, you know, I don't need Sloth, I don't need Draco, I want Black Metal Dragon, or I want Router, or I want Tempest. You literally summon any dragon off of Seal. The card is just disgusting. It is the best follow-up, one of the best follow-ups you can ever have. In fact, it probably is because it gets you anything you want. The utility is there. And all these cards let you make Seal. And making Seal through hand traps is so good. That card's so resilient. Like, you can get Drolled, Lancia, and Ashed all in the same turn and still end on Seal plus another negate or a tiding. And that is just incredible because Seal will carry your deck. If you have no follow-up, Seal is your follow-up. And if you need it, Tiding will also be your follow-up. So those are all the extenders. Next, I'm going to go into the hand traps. We have 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Ghost Spell, Triple DD Crow, one of my favorites. DD Crow on a Schism activation, just no Schism now. That's what I did to the Shaddoll player. And then we have double Nibiru, double Meister. I actually cut Monster Reborn so that I can main deck 1 extra hand trap so that I can side. You'll see my side deck. I know it sounds crazy, but I looked at Monster Reborn. Like, I don't really summon my opponent's cards, like, ever. I always use it just to summon my own cards. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, I have so many cards that do exactly what Monster Reborn does outside of getting my opponent's monsters. And it's a 1-up. So I was like, you know, bro, I'm just going to cut Reborn. I know it sounds crazy, but it worked out. I didn't really miss Reborn, like, ever. It's just another 1-up extender, but you have so many. So I bumped my hand trap count to 13 now. So now I'm main decking 13 hand traps. Very, very, very useful. It's really good. I just love this deck, how you can play so many hand traps and defensive cards. You get so much for so little. The battle phase is literally your trip to the bank. You can come out. You can go in the battle phase like a hobo, like a bum, poor, no resources. You're broke. You got nothing. Then you come out the battle phase and, bro, you got like a gold grill, chains, watches, all kinds of money. And you just don't care, bro. You flexing. Like, this deck is so good. And you get so many main phases. Every battle phase is another main phase. Every standby phase is a main phase for me. Then I have my main phase 1 and my main phase 2. I literally get like 7 main phases. And that's excluding the fact that Seal interacting on your opponent's turn gives you an additional main phase because you can make plays off of a Seal. Seal can be up to a +3 depending on the setup you have. So this deck is just very resilient. It's very good. It pluses like no other deck I've ever played. It's crazy how you can have no cards in hand and then literally tidying from grave and get like 5 cards off of just nothing, just playing from your grave. Like, this deck pluses like no other. It's like if DRAGONMAID, if Dragon Link and Gladiator Beasts and Sky Strikers all had a baby, it would be DRAGONMAID. That's how good this deck is. But yeah, I just, again, this deck's just amazing, bro. It's been on fire literally 3 weeks in a row now. So now finishing the profile, we have 1 Anagram for Parlor, and then 1 Ernest, and then I'm also playing Sloth and Draco. These are both Seal targets. Sometimes one's better than the other. Like, if I play against like Shaddoll Dogmatica, for example, Draco's better because it stops the Dogmatica portion of their deck and also prevents them from summoning all of their good fusions except Shikinaga. If you want to lock them out the extra deck, that's fine, but they can still just go Flare to Lease negate this with Ecclesia, but if you summon this, they can't even do that, and it really limits their options. This also makes Seal like an FTK against Drytron. I can open VFD Savage Seal Tidying with Shao, and they'll droplets me. Let's say they droplets me literally for 3, hitting the VFD, the Shao, all 4. They'd have to droplets for 4. Like this is the worst case scenario. Like the best case scenario, I mean, they droplets for 4 because I've been droplets for 3 when I had just Seal, VFD, and Savage, but I still resolved Seal, Summon Draco, and I still won that duel even though my opponent opens droplets. So your whole board can get droplet or Dark Ruler, and then you can still just on resolution whenever you want to tribute Seal for cost. Its effect activates in graveyard now. So even if they droplet all 4 of your monsters, you can still summon Draco, lock them out of activating it, pretty much special summoning any Drytron monsters. And there's other decks that need lights and darks, and then you still have Tidying. So whenever you need to turn this off, you can bounce it back to your hand, and then Tidying is a follow-up. And then you can normal summon this at the end of your combo, just like to have the floodgate pressure again, because this card is literally like, it's an FTK against, like, again, Drytron, and then against Virtual Worlds, you lock them out their extra deck. It's a lot better. Against Zodiac Eldritch, sometimes Draco's better because the Eldritch aspect of the deck can sometimes be more live, more consistent than the Zeus. You're not scared of like a Trident, and you don't let Zeus hit the field because, to be honest, also Seal just bouncing is like an FTK against Zodiac, regardless of summoning Sloth. It's just like Seal's bounce is just too good against everything. It's just the card is just way too difficult to interact with, and then it can interrupt your opponent multiple times by summoning one of these, or you just go on a plus train summoning other dragons that get you advantage. Then I play Double Changeover. I don't regret this. It's not just about like Crow and Walkero and stuff like that. It's like literally seeing this card as gas. This card's way too OP. Like I hard drew it against the Adamantipator player who ended on Appaloosa plus Shao, and I was able to, Appaloosa plus VFD, I was able to make Shao and Seal under that. And then we have 3 Tidying. This card is just disgusting. It also bounces from Graveyard, which did come up. My opponent was activating Invocation from Grave to target Alistair and Banistone. I chained Tidying to return his Invocation to hand, and he just couldn't play his scoop. So yeah, you guys, deck is just disgusting. So now let's get into the side deck. I'm siding heavier for combo now because honestly, control decks are like my best matchups. Combo can be 50-50, it depends. Because my deck is almost just as unfair. It's pretty much just as unfair as all the meta decks. It doesn't let you play if it gets uninterrupted, or even through interruptions, it still won't let you play. So we have 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Droll, 3 Lancia. These are all blowouts. I'm also playing 3 Gammas now. Gamma puts in a lot of work. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that I moved to it. The 3rd copy of Nibiru. So these are pretty much all. If I play against a combo deck, I can side in 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 more ways to impact the board or prevent it from happening. And then, out of respect, I still keep my 1 downtime in my side deck because there are decks, like whether it's a Mystic Mind deck or just grindy control decks, where that's why I said you don't need to really side any real back row removal because Dragon Maids already deal with back rows so easily. So the downtime is going to stay, and that's pretty much the side deck. I don't regret it. Having so many hand traps and then a 1 card or a 2 card combo is just way too disgusting, this format. Like, you can blow out every meta deck and then just, dude, and a lot of people are main decking cards like Ash Bell. Even me, I'm maining Ash Bell, Skullmeister, and Crow, right? Like, Skullmeister doesn't really do anything to this deck. DD Crow doesn't really do anything either. Bell is, like, okay if I use, like, I don't know, Hospitality or Royal Legacy Guard Dragon. And Ash is so easy to play through. So, if people aren't on, like, Gamma, Nib, Infinite, and Permanence, Ghost Ogre, which are all pretty much, except for maybe Gamma. Gamma's popular, pretty much out of the format to a large extent. Some people side Nibiru. It's just, like, that's why it's also another reason why playing combo decks can be really rewarding for you, because all the hand traps people are maining are to beat Drytron and Virtual World, but this is a true combo deck, and you need real hand traps to stop this. So the extra deck is 2 Shao, 2 House. This card is just disgusting. House is disgusting. She's too broken. Not once per turn, bro. You can pop so much off this card. It's ridiculous. And even when you're Guard Dragon comboing and you're trying to do the VFD play, Shao can turn into the last piece for VFD. You'll literally Shao, negate an impactful hand trap like Gamma, and then bring out House, and now you go Trishula Fusion. You made VFD through negating a hand trap. So there's so many cool interactions, including when you have your VFD up, and you wait till standby, activate Shao's effect. Then you can chain VFD. If they interact, you can chain Shao to negate. So then a monster comes out the grave from Shao, and then House is the field, so you can use House to target that and get more pluses. And the VFD can resolve. And if it doesn't resolve, if they droplet it, you still have Seal to summon Draco or Morpheus Sloth, so they still can't play. And you want them to go straight to the battle phase because that's where you're going to beat them. They normally have to go to battle phase to out those kind of cards. And then we have Furious. This card puts in a lot of work. This card is very, very, very good, especially against back row heavy decks. Yeah, this card's disgusting. And then we have the Trishula Fusion, 2 OP, Banish Tempest, get my follow-up, look at your extra deck. Now I know what I'm playing. If you don't scoop, that's your fault. And then we have Savage and also VFD, you know, Chlamydia, True King of all Chlamydia. Now we're on the 3 link ones. Striker, LP, and Pisty, all broken. And then we have 2 seals, 1 Romulus, and then 1 Bulbasaur. This card is so much better than Access Code. It literally is just this card's game. When this card hits the field, I have Omni Negators and a high-level dragon like Red MD, go to battle phase, DRAGONMAID, tag out, I overkill. I can get like 20,000 damage if I do it right. This deck's just crazy. So with that ending pretty much the profile, I'm going to open both my boxes. You can stay and watch it, or you can just kind of just shake the spot. It's up to you. Check in for time here. Why is this in my way? Oh, okay, I can see what. Okay, it's like 24 minutes in. So this might take some time, you guys. So you definitely, if you want to see my pools, stay in your seats. Gotta open box number 1. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna plus like hardcore. And everything I don't like or that I don't need, I just put it in my binder because I'm trying to make my binder look super good. Because I know this dude that hosts the tournaments, my homeboy Garen, he buys binders if it's good enough. So everything in here is pretty much free, so I'm not complaining about this. This is pluses. Let's open pack number 1. I already got 3 of this, but it's funny because I traded somebody my Spriggans XYZ for 2 of that, but I'm probably gonna pull the Spriggans XYZ again anyways. It's 2 boxes. So let's see here. Okay, where's the super? This card's strange. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm definitely gonna plus though, no matter what. I'm gonna get the good pulls finally. Oh, Kit, my homeboy wants that. I remember my homeboy Valente is looking for Kit. To be honest, I want to build something with Tri-Brigades. Oh, there goes secret number 1. This card's not half bad. Not half bad. Give me the better one, though. Give me the better secret. I pulled the continuous trap, the quick play spell for Armed Dragons, and then this. Give me the real secrets. Give me the real secrets. Okay, the Wind Witch Ultra. Nice. So far, so good. I'm going to try to speed through these packs as much as I can. I'm just dropping the higher rarity pulls. And then the rest is just going to go back into the box, and it'll just be trade bait or whatever I want to do. If I want to just sell a bunch of singles or something like that. Ooh, what is Fabled Synchro? Wow. Okay, this card's actually pretty nice. I see you, Fables. I see you. All right. Oh, DRAGONMAIDs are just so good, you guys. Such a skillful deck. It's so broken. So let's go into this one. A new ritual. Interesting. Okay, now I have 2 of that if I ever want to play 2 copies. I'm on 1 for now, but who knows? I mean, I might want to play 2 of it. Never know. I might play Desires or something like that and be like, just in case. Oh, I did want this card. I want to put this in my virtual worlds. Most certainly. This is like another alternative. It's not as good as VFD, but it's still like, it's really like, you gotta respect that card. People are really underestimating that because it seems so underwhelming, but it's pretty much like a Macabre when you really think about it, based on whatever you can attach to it. But if you play in the virtual world, you can get spells, traps, all that. I got my level 3 target for the quick play spell, so now I can throw that in my DRAGONMAIDs if I want more extenders. I can play 3 of the Armed Dragons quick launch basically, and then summon this from my deck. Okay, what is that? Great C something. I don't know what that is. I'm glad I pulled this, so I have the target now. I'd rather just trade somebody for the quick plays, though. I want to pull better secrets. I'm going to. Matter of fact, I'm going to speak life into that. I'm going to pull better secrets. I'm going to pull the one that's worth the most money, and I'm going to sell that thing. Aw, bruh. They did me dirty. Yeah, this box did me dirty. It does happen, though. Like, I don't know why. My pulls my entire life have pretty much always been, like, doo-doo. A lot of the times. Like, it's very few opportunities where I'll actually pull something great, but I've always been speaking life against that, like saying I'm gonna pull good, I'm gonna pull good, and it's bound to happen, right? So the Spriggans Watch, yeah, those are like probably the worst secrets you can pull, but and then my homeboy Ron, he pulled the Link 5 Underworld chick, and I was like, dang man, I want that card. I'm gonna pull something good. Multiple good cards. So we got the White Baking. Goodness gracious, Gold Servants just get Good support, like really good support. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, the super. I think I have enough of those virtual world traps and the tutu girl. I would only play one of her anyways. Okay, security force card. Alright, 3 more packs. At this point, it's either just ultra or just all supers left over. Okay. I think I have 2 of that now, that Constellar card. Let's see here. Oh, okay, ultra. A nice ultra. Nice. Okay, so who knows? Sometimes they put 3 secrets, sometimes they put 1. Okay, that's another one of the Metal Foes fusion. Alright, I'm gonna put the rest back into this box. We'll assess the pluses afterwards. Alright, box number 2. Gonna be way better than box number 1. But on top of that, keep in mind, again, it's all free. So whether you pull good or not, it's free. And everything that you have, you could still sell. Like, I know Garen would pick up that Warrock field spell because he was flipping them. Alright, so let's go with box number 2. Alright, so far so good. I mean, somebody's going to want these secrets, so I know for sure I'm going to sell those. Because I don't care for those cards. That hand trap might be good one day, but I'd rather play, like, you know, obviously impactful hand traps that are good in pretty much every matchup. That card's kind of strange, but it's a good card nonetheless. That dragon hand trap. It's like another Phantasmia. Oh, EMR. I actually wanted this card from my Machina build. Yeah, boy. You can even play this in the Infinitrack build. I mean, pretty much any machine deck, even Cyber Dragons. Cleave Forts, funny enough, get their effects if they're tributed. So you could tribute a Cleave Fort and then pop like, you know, 2 to 3 cards. It depends. So there's Ultra and Super. Okay. I have more than enough of these Metal Foe cards. Okay, wait, that's not the Super. I'm tripping. Oh, that is. The glare kind of like, it didn't look like a Super at first. Thought it was common. Okay, so at this point, ooh, the Maho Valo card. Gotta get these in this box. Alright, the secrets are gonna be OP. They're gonna be OP. So we got the Dragoonity Synchro. Oh, my homeboy, my bro's Nunu, he plays Digital Bugs. I always roast him for playing that deck. Digital Bugs. Okay, this card again. Dang, that secret is deep in this box. That's a bet. I'll win the rest of them next week. Because Garen's case had 2 more boxes left. I assume that he's going to put those up next week. I'll come back for those. Let's see. Security Force, the field spell. Okay. That is a secret. Dang, there is quite a few secrets in this set. I don't know necessarily outside of the Link 5, what are like the, you know, the good secrets to pull out of this set. I wonder. Like, what are the chase cards, if there even are any chase cards? Okay, the Dream Mirror. Who knows? I might revamp my Dream Mirrors. I know it was in my binder and I sold my binder earlier last year. I just revamped it, pretty much refilled my whole binder again. Probably gonna sell it again. Let's see. And my Dream Mirrors were in the binder. I should have just took them out because they weren't worth much. All they did was just fill up pages. Okay, the other Metal Foes.